Yeah.
So we have a situation here because if so first of all, it seems like we're headed towards then just complete chaos and meltdown, because how are we going to go from a system where I want something, I go to the store and get it, or even my days are filled with working, and now 40% of the people are not going to be able to go to work, and how am I going to get money for what I need? So instead of just talking from some high spiritual level about some spiritual state, can you talk to us about boots on the ground? What does it mean? What is this life going to look like, and how do we prepare? What do we think about?
Well, you know what? I think that basically the different parts of this new economy are already in existence. What needs to happen is us changing our consciousness and us willing to accept the change. Because, for instance, an integral part of the new system is like it's called universal basic income. Okay. Now, universal basic income has been around as an idea for decades now. It has also been experimented in various parts of the world, Western and Africa and other places as well. However, people right now are speaking about the universal basic income as a mean to maintain the current economic system. So let's give the people money so they can have enough money to go to the stores and buy and consume, and therefore keep up with the growth rates and so forth. But there is actually a different use to this universal basic income. Let's imagine a system in which each and every one of us gets enough either money or products and services. It really doesn't matter. That will enable each and every one of us to maintain a normal standard of living. Normal, I mean, if you live in Manhattan, that's the normal. If you live in Wisconsin, that's the normal. If you live in Africa, that's the normal. But you get a normal, you get the opportunity to live in a normal standard of living without having to work for it. But you know what happens to people that have ample time, too many time, all the free time in the world? What happens to them, guys?
They get
Get
bored,
into
or
trouble.
they get into trouble. Yeah, boredom, I guess,
Basically,
leads
yes.
to trouble. Yeah,
Yes.
and
Boredom.
ineffective action, and maybe
My
even
six
harmful action. Yeah.
my 16-year-old constantly tells me that I don't know what I'm talking about, and that this is utopian and this will never happen.
Well, there's a new book called Utopia for Realists. It was written by a Dutch historian. He's a very interesting guy. He was the guy that sat in the Davos convention a couple of months ago, with all the rich guys from all over the world watching him. They said, we need to have Texas, Texas, Texas. He doesn't mean the state of Texas, yes, but of course, to have some kind of capital tax and gain tax for the rich to pay more than their current share right now. So this is the guy who wrote a book called Utopia for Realists. And also there are many guys without any connection to the wisdom of Kabbalah that are seriously talking about the next stage, what comes after the capitalism.
Oh, okay.
Because capitalism, sorry?
Yeah. No, go ahead. Sorry, I have a burning question.
So there's a guy called Paul Mason. He wrote a book about the end of capitalism. That's the name of the book, The End of Capitalism. And again, he says it's time to be utopian. When is the time to be utopian? Right now, because the current system we are using, we were born into, isn't serving all of us. It's serving just a small minority, a very small minority, which having a blast, and the rest of us are struggling. And this needs to change.